The Boy Who Cried Wolf. In a little village nestled at the foot of a great grassy hill, there lived a young shepherd boy named Leo. Every single day, Leo's job was the same. He would lead the village's flock of fluffy white sheep up the hill to graze on the sweet grass, and every single day he would sit under a big oak tree and watch them. But Leo was a restless boy, full of mischief and energy. He found the job to be terribly boring. The sheep would just munch, munch, munch on the grass. The sun would slowly cross the sky. The hours would tick by with nothing exciting happening at all. One afternoon, as he watched the hard-working villagers tending their fields below, a wicked and silly idea popped into his head. "I'll play a little trick on them," he thought with a grin. "That will liven things up." He scrambled to the top of the highest rock, took a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs, his voice echoing down the valley. "Wolf! Wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep! Help! Come quickly!" Down in the village, the people heard his desperate cries. The farmers dropped their tools, the baker left his bread, and the blacksmith ran from his forge. With hearts pounding in fear, they all grabbed whatever they could, pitchforks, shovels, and sturdy sticks, and raced up the hill to save the boy and their precious sheep. When they arrived, panting and out of breath, they found Leo sitting on the rock, holding his sides and laughing. The sheep were grazing peacefully. There was no wolf to be seen. "Where is the wolf?" cried the baker, looking around in confusion. Leo wiped a tear of laughter from his eye. "There is no wolf," he giggled. "I just did it for fun. You should have seen your faces." The villagers were not amused. They were tired and angry that Leo had tricked them. They grumbled and muttered as they walked all the way back down the hill, their faces red with frustration. The elder, a wise old woman, shook her head and said, "A lie is a heavy stone, Leo. Be careful how you throw it." For a few days, Leo behaved himself. But soon the boredom returned, and he remembered the excitement his trick had caused. "I'll do it just one more time," he decided. Once again, he stood on the high rock and yelled, "Wolf! Wolf! Please, you must believe me this time! The wolf is here!" Down below, the villagers heard his cries again. Some hesitated, remembering his last trick. "Is it another of his lies?" one farmer asked. But others, worried that it might be real this time, convinced everyone to go. "We cannot take the chance," they said. So once again the villagers dropped everything and ran up the hill to help. But when they got to the top, they found the same scene as before. Leo laughing hysterically, and the sheep perfectly safe. This time the villagers were furious. Their faces were like thunderclouds. "We will not be fooled by you again, Leo," the blacksmith shouted, pointing a stern finger at him. "From now on, you can cry for help all you want, but we will not come." They turned and marched back down the hill, their trust in the boy completely broken. A week later, Leo was sitting under his oak tree, feeling a little lonely. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the hill, he saw two yellow eyes glowing from the edge of the woods. A low growl rumbled through the air. It was a real wolf, large and hungry, its sharp teeth glinting in the fading light. Leo's heart leapt into his throat. He was filled with a cold, terrifying fear. He jumped onto the rock, his voice trembling, and screamed as loud as he possibly could. "Wolf! Wolf! There is really a wolf! Please help me! This is not a joke!" He cried and shouted until his throat was sore. Down in the village, the people heard his cries. The baker looked up from his oven. "Oh, that's just Leo playing his silly games again," he said, and went back to his work. The farmers heard him as they walked home from the fields. "Pay him no mind," they told each other. "He thinks we are fools." Nobody moved. Nobody came to help. Up on the hill, Leo was all alone. The wolf attacked the flock, and then it turned on the boy. He tried his best to fight back, but it was no use. The next morning, when Leo did not return with the sheep, the villagers went up the hill to see what was wrong. They found only scattered wool and the tracks of a wolf. They knew that Leo had finally told the truth, but it was too late. His lies had cost him everything. And they all learned a very sad lesson. Nobody believes a liar, even when they are telling the truth.